Carbon buildup quietly damages more Ford engines than most owners realize. It restricts airflow, hurts fuel economy, and turns minor issues into costly repairs. The fix isn't complicated or expensive. There are proven ways to clean it out before real damage starts. If you've owned or worked on a Ford with an EcoBoost engine long enough, you get a front row seat to one of the quirks that most drivers never fully understand until it bites them. The direct injection technology in these engines, whether it's the 1.5 liter in a Focus, the 2.0 liter in an Escape, or the 2.7 or 3.5 liter in an F-150 or Explorer, comes with a big upside: better power and fuel economy. But there's a trade-off that every seasoned mechanic will tell you about. The intake valves on these engines get caked with carbon over time because fuel never washes over them like in older port injection systems. Back in the day, fuel sprayed just behind the intake valves, and that constant rinse from gasoline and detergents kept carbon from building up. Well, it's not so on most EcoBoost motors. With these Ford engines, the gasoline goes straight into the combustion chamber, and those valves just sit there collecting oil vapors and blow-by soot until it turns into hard, sticky buildup. That gunk doesn't just look gunky. It actually chokes off airflow and can prevent the valve from sealing properly. So your engine starts running rough, hesitates when you accelerate, and often misfires, especially on cold starts. Many owners don't connect the dots at first, and they chase spark plug or coil problems when the real culprit is carbon on the valves. A Ford owner with a 2014 F-150 EcoBoost had signs of a mystery misfire. He had already replaced the plugs, coils, and even the fuel filter on his own, but the truck was still rough at idle. After pulling the intake, we found the valve so gummed up it was like someone had smeared axle grease in his engine. After a walnut blast clean, the truck ran smoothly. This problem would have been prevented if he knew that direct injection doesn't clean your valves for you. The worst part? If you ignore it long enough, that buildup can affect not only your engine, but also contribute to catalytic converter damage and fuel trim problems down the road because the engine's burning inefficiently. Now here's the good news. Once you understand the issue, you can tackle it before it turns into a real repair bill. And I found the most effective way is walnut blasting. Let me tell you straight up, walnut blasting is the gold standard for cleaning carbon off those Ford EcoBoost intake valves. Over the years, every miracle chemical has come and gone, but nothing consistently removes baked-on carbon like crushed walnut shells blasted at the valves. The first time you take the intake manifold off a direct injection Ford, like a 2.0 or 2.7 liter EcoBoost, you're looking at intake valves that have literally never been washed by fuel the way older port injection engines used to be. All the oil vapors and gunk in the crankcase ventilation system just love to stick to those valves and bake into hard carbon over time. You can spray cleaners, pour sea foam down the throttle body all day long, but it never really gets where the problem is. Here's a pro tip from the shop. Walnut blasting works like a tiny mechanical pressure wash. You hook up a media blasting rig with finely crushed walnut shells, blast them into the intake ports with compressed air, and the shells literally abrade the carbon off without scratching the metal. They're softer than the aluminum valves and seats, but tough enough to knock carbon loose. Shops also vacuum everything right out as they blast it, so you're not just breaking carbon loose and letting it float around inside your engine to cause even more trouble. Many Ford owners who realize the importance of cleaning out carbon from their EcoBoost benefit a lot from walnut blasting. The catch? It's not a 5-minute job. To remove the intake manifold, clean the valves, and vacuum everything, you're talking a few hours. And I always recommend asking a professional mechanic for help. But if you compare that to the cost of a rebuilt head or a new catalytic converter from prolonged misfires, you can see the difference. Hey there, it's RJ. I've been turning wrenches on Fords for over 20 years, and I've seen what carbon buildup really does. From rough idle and bad mileage to blown head gaskets that could have been avoided. Truth is, a little smart maintenance and a few cheap tools can save you thousands. Let me show you the secrets and tips you might not have even thought of. You might be tempted to manually clean your Ford's intake valves without running a walnut blaster. But manual cleaning is a slog, and here's why. It's never as quick or as complete as a proper walnut blast job. On direct injection motors from the EcoBoost family, carbon buildup doesn't just wipe off with a quick spray. You've got to get in there physically and chip it away because the fuel never washes over those valves like in old port-injected engines. A lot of owners compare it to cleaning burnt grease out of an old cast iron pan, except the pan is in the heart of your engine. You pull the intake off, make sure the valve you're working on is completely closed so debris can't fall into the cylinder, and you start digging. With picks, wire brushes, scrapers, and solvent, you can clear out all the buildup. I recommend using compressed air to blow out chunks as you work, then go back through with rags, and then finally vacuum out the mess. It works, but it takes time and patience. I recently ran into this on a 2018 Fusion EcoBoost, where carbon had gotten pretty heavy. A walnut blast attachment wasn't accessible without a more extensive teardown, so I used scrapers and a solvent soak to dig in. It took a long time, but we got most of the buildup off, and that later smoothed out the idle. But here's the catch. If you miss a spot, that leftover carbon keeps accumulating and starts choking the airflow again. So while manual cleaning is a legit DIY and a cheap way to slow the buildup down, it's labor-intensive and easier to mess up than folks expect. But this isn't the only method you should keep in mind, and the next one might surprise you. You've probably seen those spray can valve cleaners and fuel additive induction services, and I get why folks grab them. But with EcoBoost engines in general, here's what most people end up learning the hard way. Those chemical sprays aren't a cure for carbon buildup on your intake valves. And this is a shop insight most Ford owners don't know. They might have their place, but most of them don't do what folks expect in a direct injection motor like a 2.0 or 2.7 liter EcoBoost. Those intake valve cleaners and cheap chemical sprays have to reach the carbon to dissolve it. In a port-injected engine, fuel and detergents spray right over the valves, so cleaners kind of piggyback on that flow. But in a direct injection Ford, the fuel goes straight into the combustion chamber and never washes over the back of the valves. That's why carbon accumulates in the first place. This is the whole problem. Additives in the tank don't reach the valves at all because gasoline doesn't flow past them. Many Ford owners spray cleaner into the throttle body and let the engine run while it sucks it in. That can solve some very light fresh deposits if you catch the problem early. It can also make a rough idling EcoBoost much better for a week or two. But once that goo gets baked hard on, like some F-150s with 60,000 plus miles, these sprays barely touch it. Most of the carbon stays right where it is, and you end up chasing symptoms instead of fixing the problem. A lot of owners think they've cured a valve carbon issue with a $15 can of cleaner, and a few days later they'd have the same rough idle. Once a 2017 Escape owner used cleaners 3 separate times, but didn't see real smoothness until walnut blasting. So, sure, chemical cleaners have a role in routine maintenance and prevention, but they're not a cure-all. Still, when using cleaners, there's one tip I always tell Ford owners, and that's to be careful around turbos. Pay close attention here. You've got to be careful around the turbocharger on your Ford when you're thinking about cleaning carbon off the intake. And I don't say that to scare you. On direct injection EcoBoost engines, a lot of people think they can just spray cleaner into the air intake and let it work its magic. But if you spray that stuff into the turbo, you're basically asking for trouble. You see, the turbo spins at ridiculously high speeds and has very delicate parts inside. If you send cleaning chemicals or chunks of loosened carbon through it, those tiny bits can hit the compressor wheel and chip at the blades, upset the balance, or even wash away the oil film that protects bearings and seals. That's a fast ticket to a turbo that whines, leaks oil, or just quits. And a turbo replacement can easily run into the thousands of dollars. One Ford owner with a 2016 EcoBoost Mustang swore a couple of aerosol cleaners did wonders on intake valves. Problem was, he sprayed it upstream of the turbo inlet. When we took a look later, the turbo's compressor blades had a gritty feel from old carbon that had been blasted around. It wasn't cheap to fix. Now, there are products out there marketed as turbo and intake cleaners, and some mechanics use controlled methods to clean around the turbo itself, but that's usually done downstream or with special tools that keep solvents out of the sensitive areas. So here's the takeaway. If you want to help your EcoBoost live a long life without paying for a turbo rebuild, save those aggressive sprays for the right places, or stick to methods that physically remove carbon where it collects, like walnut blasting deeper into the intake. What you've seen so far shows how to remove carbon, but the next secrets focus on preventing it, and they're the ones most Ford owners never hear about. Most owners don't believe this one matters until they see what comes out of it. If you're serious about slowing carbon buildup in a Ford EcoBoost or any modern direct injection engine, I always tell Ford owners that adding a quality oil catch can make a real difference. But don't think it's going to magically remove the gunk that's already baked on. It's more like a preventative measure. The idea is simple. Every gasoline engine vents a little blow-by and oil vapor back into the intake through the PCV system. On older port-injected engines, gasoline would wash over the back of the valve and help keep them clean. EcoBoost engines, with fuel shot straight into the combustion chamber, don't get that rinse, so oil vapors can mix with soot and cook onto the intake valves over time. A catch can sits in line and captures a lot of that oil vapor before it ever reaches the intake tract. I've seen this firsthand on F-150s, Rangers, and Mustangs. One Ford owner brought in his 3.5-liter EcoBoost with about 80,000 miles. The intake valves were already starting to cake because he drove a lot of short trips and never really got the engine hot enough to burn off those vapors. We installed a decent baffled catch can on the PCV line, and over the next few oil changes, we drained off a surprising amount of oil and water mixture. This made the engine feel smoother, and he avoided a deeper cleanup at 100,000 miles because this slowed the deposit rate down. It's important to note that newer dual-injection engines reduce the urgency of this mod. Now here's a shop trick. If your valves are already gummed up, a catch can won't magically blast that buildup. You'll still need a proper intake cleaning or walnut blast to clean things up. But what a catch can do is help keep future carbon from accumulating as fast, especially if you're not on the highway every day. This is a pretty helpful tip to prevent carbon buildup, and the next one works as well. Have you ever heard an old-timer say, "Give it a good run once in a while and it'll thank you later"? On direct injection Fords like the EcoBoost engines, that's an extra tip you shouldn't ignore. EcoBoost motors spray fuel directly into the combustion chamber so the intake valves don't get that fuel wash that used to help keep them clean. That means carbon and oil vapors stick and bake on over time. One way to help slow that process down and sometimes burn off lighter deposits is to do regular highway driving at higher RPMs, where the engine really gets hot and works hard. When you're just tooling around town at low speed and low revs, the engine barely gets warm enough to make much heat in the intake or exhaust, so any carbon buildup just sits there and accumulates. But when you hit the freeway, cruise at 60 to 70 miles per hour, and let the revs climb under load for a sustained stretch, you get a higher combustion temperature that can help combust or loosen some of that lighter residue naturally. One guy with a 2.0-liter EcoBoost Escape had a slightly rough idle and a cranky throttle response. He did nothing but short grocery runs and daycare drop-offs. I recommended that he take it for a long drive down the interstate at highway speeds once a week. And after a couple of those runs, the idle smoothed out, and it felt a lot happier. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a cure-all, and a highway run won't replace a walnut blast or professional cleaning. It helps slow the buildup, but you still need a deep clean once in a while. And if you're only ever commuting around town in stop-and-go traffic, those deposits stack up fast because the engine never sees high temperatures long enough to burn them off. So this is one of the simplest and cheapest ways to keep your Ford breathing easier and save yourself a bigger repair bill later. Now let's talk about why timing matters when it comes to cleaning carbon on your Ford EcoBoost engine, and how much you can save yourself headaches and money down the road. On modern EcoBoost motors, carbon buildup on the intake valve never stops forming. That's just the nature of direct injection. The fuel doesn't watch over the valves, so oil vapors and blow-by soot stick and bake on over time. Because of that, most cleaning methods only remove the carbon that's there right now. They don't change why it forms. Your EcoBoost will keep making deposits as soon as you start driving again, especially if most of your miles are in-town traffic or short trips where the engine doesn't get a real chance to run hot. This is where most owners miss it. That's why timing makes a big difference in how long a cleaning actually lasts. Waiting until your Ford starts acting rough with signs like misfires, hesitation, and poor fuel economy means you've let the carbon get baked on. If you aim to clean around 40 to 60,000 miles on a regular schedule, you're hitting it before the worst of the buildup shows up. This is a good schedule to follow for EcoBoost engines prone to carbon. This is one of the problems that keeps returning if the underlying maintenance habits aren't right, and that's why I documented the full long-term approach in my Ford Longevity Guide. On an EcoBoost, never wait till it's damaged. Instead, stay ahead of the buildup and time your cleaning. You also need to stick to regular maintenance schedules like changing oil and other fluids often. This one matters more than people realize, and skipping it is why carbon always comes back. If there's one thing I've learned after turning wrenches on EcoBoost Fords for 2 decades, it's that you really can't beat staying on top of basic maintenance to slow carbon buildup and keep your engine happy. And here's a pro tip. Focus on regular oil changes with quality synthetic oil and using good fuel at the pump. Synthetic oils are formulated to resist breakdown and carry away soot and contaminants instead of letting them bake onto parts of the engine. This makes a pretty big difference in how much oil vapor and soot get pulled back into the intake, where it turns into carbon. Regular oil changes help keep that protective film fresh, so the crankcase ventilation system sends back cleaner vapors, not thick goo that sticks to valves. And don't skip this. Fuel quality matters too. Use top-tier detergent gasoline, a specific industry standard, to help keep the combustion chamber and injectors cleaner, which means fewer soot particles forming in the first place. Many Ford owners switch to top-tier fuels after a carbon service and notice their F-150 EcoBoost stayed smoother longer because they weren't feeding the buildup as fast. But regardless of what else you do, I always recommend getting professional help to clean carbon buildup. You can absolutely DIY walnut blasting or manual carbon cleaning on your EcoBoost, and it will save you some cash if you know what you're doing and have some patience. But let me tell you, professional help usually ends up being the smarter call. Why? Equipment and experience. Shops that do intake valve cleaning every day have proper media blasting rigs, vacuums, and training, so they can blast the gunk off without chunks flying into places they shouldn't. They're also tuned into the risks, like dislodging pieces of carbon that could clog fuel injectors, hurt sensors, or damage the turbo if they're not captured correctly. On the flip side, DIY is tempting. You buy a walnut blast setup or grab picks and scrapers from the toolbox, pull the intake, and go at it. That can work, and I've had Ford owners come in proud of a job they tackled in the driveway. But it takes time, patience, and skill to keep it from slipping into the bore or leaving debris behind. Without the right vacuum setup and experience, you can accidentally leave carbon chunks where they can cause misfires or even knock sensors offline. Good shops always take responsibility for their work. If something gets damaged on a professional service, most reputable places will cover it or fix it. When you're doing it yourself and a turbo wheel gets nicked or a sensor gets fried, you're footing that bill yourself. So yeah, DIY can save you a few bucks up front, but a pro with the right gear will give you faster, cleaner, and safer results in a direct injection Ford. Because when carbon cleaning goes wrong on a direct injection Ford, it doesn't end with a rough idle. It ends with damaged parts, blown budgets, and an engine that never quite runs right again.